Hey everybody, we're talking about this. Wait, that's not my camera. Hey everybody, we're here to talk about Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing.
Welcome to talking about Yam Man, the amazing Yam Man.
I heard Yam Man was there.
Oh, you got my name wrong. I'm the human
wrong.
yam.
The human yam.
I'm so glad that you're all here to watch Tales from the Long Box.
We're glad you're here. Welcome back. We're still in spooky time here in October, and we went to a classic all-time run in the comic book world. It is Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, written by Alan Moore, penciled primarily by Stephen R. Bissette, and then secondarily by Rick Veitch and Sean McManus. Also guest fill-ins with Ron Randall, Alfredo Alcala, and Stan Watch. Inked by John Tottleman, lettered by John Costanza, colored by Tatiana Wood. I'm sorry. Editor is Len Wein, creator of Swamp Thing, and later on in the second half of the run, Karen Berger, who pioneered Vertigo, the kind of darker DC Comics imprint that would eventually spawn Hellblazer with John Constantine, who debuted in this book.
Yes.
Swamp Thing is really cool. He was created originally by Bernie Wrightson and Len Wein. Mm-hmm. They had a pretty long run on the character. It went away for a little bit and then came back under different writer-artist team. And then at issue 20 of the Saga of the Swamp Thing, Alan Moore and Stephen R. Bissette took over.
All the better for it.
Yeah, and it became very quickly one of the most influential kind of world-changing comics at the time. I don't think, had Dark Knight Returns come out at this point?
Oh, in 82, 83?
Yeah, so it was pretty recent.
It would have been around the same time for sure. I don't know which came first, but it was they shared an era of just.
This is kind of the time in comics when we were pushing past the Comics Code Authority.
Yes, this was the first mainline comic to do it. Did you know that?
What do you explain?
Alan Moore, like when he was working on his run on this, he was like running into so many obstacles with the Comics Code Authority trying to get these issues out that he was
it's like.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Surprisingly.
That's what peeved him off so bad. Yeah. Not Alan Moore, but the authority.
Yeah.
The authority.
Different comic book characters.
But at some point he was just like, what if we just start publishing some of these Swamp Thing comics without their approval?
Yep.
And DC went, huh? And then they went, and then they stopped worrying about it. But this was one of the first like series to do that. That's
interesting.
That was really like in the mainline consciousness of comic book fans.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, it really does pioneer kind of pushing comics back into this more grown-up world.
Yeah.
It never really, I say back into, it never really had been in this level of maturity and of like complex psychological storytelling, the kind of more spiritual elements of all this. Like it's a very deep book and it's very Alan Moore. It felt strange reading a mystical Alan Moore book at first because he feels like more of a sci-fi writer to me, with Watchmen and his stuff on Superman. Even V feels more like a sci-fi thing in the way that it's very similar to 1984.
Yeah, totally.
And stuff like that. But this is like firmly in this kind of like mystical world that in my head I associated much more with Neil Gaiman and Sandman.
Totally,
without
it
realizing.
feels like that.
Well, and the reason is that Sandman is just eating Swamp Thing's lunch. Like it came directly after
eating
that.
His yams.
And yeah, dude, the dream is chowing down on Swamp Thing's yams, dude.
You heard it here first, everybody.
He's getting down on those yams. And wouldn't we all?
When you're right, buddy.
I'm always right about the yams, but it's like so much of Swamp Thing directly leads into what eventually became Sandman, the Dreaming, all this different stuff. So, I mean, Constantine is created here. Yep. Cain and Abel they weren't created in the comic book versions, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
They were not created by Alan Moore, but they were turned into actual characters within the context of the universe in this book, rather than just being presenters of the horror comic book that they were like decades previously.
Totally.
They would eventually become, people within the Dreaming and stuff like that. When you get to Sandman, all of this mystical stuff, the Spectre and everything like that, they become much more like codified characters in this. And it's like, it's crazy reading so much of this and seeing so much of that foundation coming together. It's unbelievable the degree to which Alan Moore in these like 40 some issues is able to just like basically invent the entire modern supernatural side of DC as we know it.
Yes.
It's incredible.
That's where I feel like Alan Moore's strength is really right there in just like elevating whatever he steps into. You know, like not that the things that he creates himself, like Watchmen and things like that, those are also great, of course, and everybody knows that. But it's like when he steps into an existing IP, I feel like he consistently just improves it. You know, it's like you mentioned The Dark Knight Returns. That has taken so much of a stranglehold on the tone that the Batman comics would have for the entire rest of like up to the modern day. Yeah, absolutely. Like he just changes things for the better in that way. Yeah, and I think he very much did that with this. Like, you know, there's a lot to say about kind of the. Maybe you call it a stutter step that the Swamp Thing comics took. Sure. I mean, the character I think was initially launched in like the early 70s, something like that, with a different creative team and a different writer. Yeah, with Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson, who we'll come back to next week. Yes, amazingly. Absolutely. I didn't realize that connection at the time. Yeah, I can't wait though. But yeah, it's like, so the character kind of didn't take off, kind of wasn't huge. And even for the first year of the reboot in the early 80s. Still kind of didn't take off. And then, as you mentioned, Alan Moore jumps in and he starts creating this whole mythos where it's like, oh, no longer is. So like initially the character was a scientist named Alec Holland. Yes. Who is Swamp Thing? Yes. What's the deal with Swamp Thing? What's his problem? I'll tell you. Who gives him the right? What's the deal? Go ahead, Michael. Thing? Who's your Swamp Thing guy? Who is my Swamp Thing? Dude, speak your truth. You are. Wait a second. You're a little swampy guy. Oh, man. But the Swamp Thing is Alec Holland, who he was a scientist. He figured out this like some plant-based formula to help plants grow. Yep. The bad guys wanted his formula. Fight ensues. Chemicals get spilled all over Alec Holland, which you know, if you're the swamp in general. If you're in a comic book and you get chemicals on you, sorry, but you're generally not good. You're getting superpowers. Yeah. What can I tell you? Sorry. I'm definitely sorry in this case. I apologize. Yeah. You will be getting superpowers. Yes. So he gets chemicals spilled on him, gets set on fire, runs into the swamp to put himself out. And he metamorphosizes, sure. Yeah. Into the Swamp Thing, which is this big green man that you see in all his glory on the cover of this. Yeah. And he doesn't just get set on fire. His house, he explodes. Yes, he really does. These gangsters come to try to take this thing and the fight breaks out. They kill his wife and he gets knocked out. He wakes up and there's a bomb in the laboratory cabin. Yeah. He tries to run out of there, but the bomb explodes, throws himself into the swamp. Maybe he's dead, but then he does rise again as the Swamp Thing. Have you seen the clip from the like really hard to find Swamp Thing miniseries? Like old movie, TV show? The recent-ish TV show? The older one. The old movie? The old movie. I have not, no. I mean, neither. Was it a movie or movie? I don't even remember. There was a really old movie, and then there was a TV show fairly recently when DC was doing like Doom Patrol and stuff like that. And it was pretty good, but nobody watched it, so it got canceled. It was in the older one. I've seen a clip of Alec Holland like exploding. He is so much on fire. It's crazy. I don't know how he burns so brightly. How like you can only do so much with like a lighter fluid. With lighter fluid. But it's like it's like whatever suit they have their actor in is like producing lighter suit. Yeah. But like again, you can only do so much of it. Yeah. He is blazing. It's crazy work. Marshall, insert Swamp Thing explosion here. You see? That was crazy. You see what I mean? I can't even believe it. I love when we pretend like we just saw the thing that you inserted. Yeah, you're right. I just saw it. Right. The first arc of this, it starts out pretty simple and kind of extends kind of out of that original run and the feel of it, where it's very much like a monster movie thing. Yeah. And you slowly get the reveal
I mean, basically the way that it opens up kind of is closing out what happens before it. It seems like Moore is very much trying to say, let's finish that up and get that out of here.
Totally.
And then I'm going to tell the story I want to tell.
Yeah.
Because it very quickly, like, you're getting rid of the like corporations and everything that were a big problem in the previous thing that wanted to study him. Yeah. Swamp Thing. And in the process of that, they do capture him and they do study him, and they realize that he is not, this is the big revelation in this first arc. He is not Alec Holland. Yeah, Alec Holland is dead. He died. And what remains is nothing. What Swamp Thing actually is just this, at this point, at least we believe. Yeah. Because then that changes even more as we go on. Yeah. That the swamp has taken this regenerative thing and his consciousness has imprinted on that and formed, the shape of a man because that's what it understood. Yeah. And then that expands more and more as we go along, but that kind of brings out this very existential question that we take on for a while of like, a lot of Moore's run is Swamp Thing, who eventually accepts being called Alec, so we can call him Alec if we want. It's him trying to figure out, well, what am I then? Yeah. Who am I then?
What am I?
If I'm not Alec Holland, then, but I have all of those memories and I have all of those feelings. And I remember my wife, Alec's wife, I guess, Linda.
My wife.
Your mom, Linda.
My mom's in this book.
Your mom was killed in this book.
No.
Alan Moore killed your mom, dude.
Dude, that's Alan.
Actually, it wasn't him.
I knew there was something shifty with that guy.
Len Wein killed your mom.
Len?
And technically, Alan Moore made sure that we knew that she was in heaven. So
that's true. I didn't think about that.
So it's okay.
All right. Well, it's not okay, but
it's not preferable.
Mom, if you're listening to this, I'm really, really sorry.
But yeah, like a lot of this book is about like Swamp Thing's self-discovery and figuring out who he is, and what he's supposed to be doing. And you get all of these kind of like anthology horror stories running through that. Yeah. And it's really fun that it's like, they do a really good job of doing a monster of the week thing while also telling this larger connected story, which really only starts to flow out really intensely by like halfway through the run. Yeah. Where like up to that point, it still feels kind of like typical comic book where you've got a little arc with a villain and then you move to the next one, and a little arc with a villain and then you move to the next thing. But then halfway through it becomes much more like, I'm nailing down what the heck is going on. Yeah. And it also, because, Final Crisis or Crisis on Infinite Earths was happening at the same time. Yeah. So that all kind of like comes together and everything like that. But
totally,
it's a really like the psychological side of all that is really fascinating.
Well, I'll tell you, I thought it was going to be, this is full transparency. I thought it was going to be cheesy. Yeah. Because like I knew they were going to do that kind of a story with it. Like having not dived super deeply into these comics before, I was like, okay, they're going to do the transhumanism thing. They're going to kind of take that angle and do the exploration of like, what makes somebody a human being and so on and so forth. But like, I don't know what it is about the way Alan Moore writes it, but he does this thing that like echoes like Shelley's Frankenstein and echoes like Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis, right? Sure. And like different things like that. In this classical literary canon of the exploration of what is life, what is humanity, like all these things. Yeah. It's so weird how deep this gets in a comic book that again just began as like you said, a Monster of the Week thing. Yeah. It's like Creature from the Black Lagoon meets the Justice League.
Which is a drawing that I was thinking of doing that classic image of the creature holding the woman, but it's Swamp Thing and Abby.
Oh, that would be so cool. I hope you do that before you edit this video so you can put it in right here.
It'll be the preliminary lines. It will not be finished by Wednesday.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be great though.
Yeah. I don't know, man. There's just something really, I know it's Alan Moore, but it's Alan Moore at the very beginning of his career. Yeah. Had he done, let's do some research real quick. So it looks like V had already come out. So V came out before this.
Okay.
So that was maybe his most probably, that and Marvel Man. Yeah. Miracle Man. So he had done V and Miracle Man, and then that led into his DC comic stuff from 83 to 89. Yeah. With Swamp Thing, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, which includes the classic story for the Man Who Has Everything, the one which a lot of you know because it's been adapted in the Justice League series where it's Superman's birthday and he gets the thing on him in Mongol and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What a no context.
That's good though.
But yeah, I mean, he just, even in this early part of his career, had already done some really famous stuff like V. And in this, he's kind of just diving so deep into these really impressive, like really mature storylines.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's see. John Constantine. We can talk about Constantine.
I love that I didn't realize he showed up here first again until I really dove into this. Which is great. I love really Constantine as a character. It's so much fun.
Yeah. And it's really interesting seeing, and again, this is kind of what I said earlier about how Moore plotted out so much of the supernatural side of DC's world.
Yeah.
And so much of the time you read a character's early appearances and they haven't quite arrived yet. They haven't quite become that version of that guy that we would be familiar with. Like Spider-Man really takes a while to become the character that we would recognize. Batman, even the early issues are kind of weird, like whatever. Dude, this is the Hellblazer. Like immediately, John Constantine is John Constantine.
Yeah.
Like the kind of attitude of him, the punk feeling, when I say attitude, I mean, he's got an attitude.
Yes. Yeah.
And he's like, whatever, man. Like, like kick rocks, dude.
Yeah.
Like you can come with me if you want to.
Yeah.
Or like there's that great moment in there where Alec is getting so frustrated of like, you keep sending me all over the place. You're not giving me any information. You're not helping me out. I'm not following you. I'm not going whatever's on that paper that you've written down to the next place to go to. I'm not going there. I'm going home to Louisiana. And he's like, okay, whatever, have fun there. And he's like, you're not mad? I'm like, nope. And he opens up the paper, Louisiana. It's so like good. So clever, man.
It is it's
so funny.
Good. Yeah.
And it's hilarious. I mean, if you look at his modern appearances, you would not know at all that he was based on Sting visually.
Yeah.
But man,
back then
there's some panels where it's so clear.
Yeah.
I can try to pull one up here.
Yeah. Let's see your favorite. I kind of miss that look of Constantine too. Like I like his he's got the cool hair and the cool coat now. And he's just, I
mean, it's kind of just like a basic boy cut hair, but it's like, he doesn't have time to deal with it. So he just like,
totally.
That's what it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I do like that Constantine, when they do like an animated version of him, is now always played by the same actor that played him in that
Legends of Tomorrow or whatever it is.
Well, even before that, he had a very sadly short run on like an ABC network production of a Constantine TV show series.
But he's so loved they just keep bringing him back for like everything,
and for good reason. That guy does a great job.
That's the one especially where I'm like, that is just straight up Sting.
Dude, it's in the eyebrows. It's all right there. Look at
the bone structure and everything.
Yeah.
I just love this panel too. Like these 2 pages are so Constantine.
Yeah.
He's like walking through this hellscape and this place has just been ripped to shreds and he's like chilled out and casual. He kicks a can and stuff like that, or a skull.
Yeah.
Even better. He's like, well, where are you? Come on. I haven't got all day.
So
and
good.
then he just stands there and he's like, oh, yeah, you did that faster than before. That's not bad. He's like just so chilled out about everything that's happening.
Oh, it's endearing because he treats Swamp Thing like a normal guy to a certain degree.
Yeah, like everything that happens to him is just like matter of fact and normal, and nothing about all this weird stuff that's going on is weird to him. It's just like, yep. I did something weirder than this yesterday. Why would I be stranged out by that?
Which makes sense because the 80s was like, this is the time of the rule of cool. It was, it's not like what character is the most appealing to a certain audience. It's what character is the absolute coolest.
Yeah.
And that's John Constantine. It's so fun.
Yeah. And there's something in that kind of attitude that fits in very well with the feeling of this book, but also kind of breaks it a little bit in a way that like works really well, because there's a lot of stuff in here that it feels very Lovecraft. It feels at times very much like an Uzumaki type thing, like we just talked about, where you're telling a story and Swamp Thing, like Kiri in Uzumaki, isn't necessarily the main character. She's just there to witness it.
Yeah.
And he will go through these stories and see what's happening, and it kind of plays out like a fable of this horrible thing has gone on, and he's there to witness it, and sometimes is an active participant, but it just kind of moves on to the next thing. Like, it's really there's this sense of like inevitability and like things were always going to happen this way.
Yeah.
There's this larger cosmic context that starts to get brought in of like, there's outside forces pushing on these things that, you know, Swamp Thing thinks he's maybe in control of what's happening here, but he's not. And you start to get his perspective opening wider and wider as the book goes on with that first, when Arcane returns and he takes him back to the swamp and is like, listen, things have changed since you were here.
Yeah.
This is my place of power now, and just beats him down.
Totally.
So cool.
Yeah.
But then the world gets bigger.
Yeah.
And now he's not big and strong anymore, and it's scary that he's like all these vampires and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he realizes like, oh no, I can open my mind even more, and like becomes the mountain.
Yeah.
And opens up the river, the lake, and everything. Like there's these kind of like cosmic beings that he slowly realizes that he's one of these things.
Totally.
It's really cool.
What did you text me the other day? You had texted me and said, where was it? Swamp Thing is like crack for my Lovecraft brain.
Yes.
that was so real. Because it's moments like that where it's like, it's cosmic horror in a lot of cases, but it's also, it's just cosmic, not horror. I don't know what you call it. I don't know if there's a word for like the tone that exists in, because it's not always scary. I mean, sometimes it's genuinely like just impressive.
It's the way, the thing about it, I think, is the way that everyone treats it, or like a lot of these characters at least treat the things that are happening as normal.
Yeah.
They just accept it and then do what they can with it. It's not like we react with intense, like, you know, regular people react with crazy fear and stuff like that. You get to the one about the Cambridge, not the Winchester house, the Cambridge house. And it's that like all these ghosts and everything that are just there because of all this horror that's plagued the world because of this gun manufacturer, the Cambridge family, which is obviously based on the real life Winchester family and the Winchester house that they did continue to add to like crazy. It's this weird place with doors that go nowhere and stuff like that. These ghosts are all just continuing in the same madness that they died in, basically. And that's kind of what this is. It's you get this overall sense of the chaos that we're able to perceive. And then Swamp Thing comes in as this like being of peace and kind of like tranquility, where he sees the world literally differently and can see that everything is connected. And like, why, you know, are we doing that? Or why would we do this if we're all kind of part of the same collective consciousness, I guess. I don't know.
I guess. Yeah. Which is so cool. And that's why I think these stories have really something for everybody. It's like it's a superhero story, sure. And it gets more and less into that. Yeah. But it's also a ghost story, I think, at its roots.
Oh yeah.
How's that for a pun? At its roots, it's a ghost story. Yeah. And it's also kind of like this mythic, like deity sort of like, like a Greek god story, like any other, it's like somebody learning his powers. I mean, I dare say there's even like biblical connections that you can draw, like when he returns to the swamp, like you mentioned, that's very, very like Jesus in the wilderness being shown something by Swamp Thing's personal like devil, essentially. Stuff like that. There's just so much in this that resembles different classical literature tropes that you'll see anywhere else. And that's what I think makes it so cool. Also, it's the Floronic Man. That's what the word you're looking for.
Right.
That was going to drive me nuts if I couldn't find it, and I did find it. Yeah. It feels like old black and whites in a lot of ways, like the way that cinematography would have been posed in old movies. Like, I mean, you think of like, I don't know, like old Dracula movies, the one with Christopher Lee. Yeah, the
Hammer ones.
You think of the lighting in that and the framing and everything like that. Like there's even a shot of Swamp Thing lit from kind of underneath, and you see his teeth and kind of the overall like viscera of his face and stuff like that. I'm like, I've seen Christopher Lee do this exact expression as Dracula almost.
Yeah, right.
Different things like that. It's like it's very reminiscent of old Hollywood serial sort of stuff. Again, we mentioned The Creature from the Black Lagoon. I think it's very apt.
Yeah, yeah. There is really a kind of similar DNA to these like classic feeling horror stories.
Yes, exactly.
In a way, there's like a weird shared thing between like a classic. It's maybe the Hammer stuff, maybe the Universal stuff, but these classic, when you imagine an old Hollywood horror movie, there's a lot of like the aesthetic of that with the feeling of a much more up-to-date, mature story. Yeah. Which I think is why it feels so cool to read, because you're getting that really interesting mixture. You're taking that kind of pulpy stuff and elevating it to just a really impressive level.
Yes.
That I was not expecting to enjoy this as much as I did.
Me too.
Like I knew it was a really popular run, but I thought it was just like, I mean, it's Alan Moore. So we like to read Alan Moore's early work and it's interesting academically, maybe. Yeah. But it's genuinely very, very good.
Yes. No, it really is. Yeah. I remember this old black and white movie called Carnival of Souls.
Yep.
Have you heard of this?
Of course.
No way. I feel like nobody that I know has heard of Carnival of Souls.
I'm me.
If any of you haven't heard of Carnival of Souls, go Google it. It is the production value is so weird and bad. Yeah. But it's also like really spooky. So you can kind of laugh at it while also feeling extremely unsettled by a lot of the cinematography and composition that go into it.
Yeah, that's like an all-time classic, like old horror movie.
It sure is.
62.
I feel so vindicated that you know this.
Of course, man.
That's validating to me.
The film people will know. Film people will know it for sure.
100%. This feels a little bit like that. Even insofar as it's like scary, but also it's not lacking in its like whimsy. Like it doesn't take itself too serious. Like we joked opening this up about the like he gets at one point compared to a yam. He's like the plant matter that he's made up of is the consistency of yams. Swamp Thing himself might even be edible. Yeah. And I was like, for whatever reason, I started laughing at that. Yeah. It's just like, it took me way out of the story a little bit, but also it's just kind of fun. It's, it shows that like comedy and horror are
I need to know in all stories now what my favorite superhero would be compared to vegetable wise.
I feel like most of the time they'd be compared to like steak wise, right?
No. I need to know what kind of vegetable Batman would be.
I need to know what kind of vegetable Marshall would be.
Every kind.
I feel like you strike me as a celery guy. You guys think Marshall's kind of stringy? Let us know in the comments.
I don't really know what that means, pal.
I don't know either.
There's some really good quotes in this one. I love Etrigan. Etrigan is one of my favorite characters every time he shows up anywhere. Yeah. Gone form of man. Something demon Etrigan. I can't remember.
You don't even know. He's one of your favorite characters.
I love him. Jason Blood. The moment I saw the guy with the shocker red hair and the little white going down, I was like, oh, I know him. We're ready. I'm here for this.
That's so good.
It's very good.
He can't have a Constantine story without Etrigan in it,
Dude, it's so good. Yeah, there was a great line from him that I enjoyed. Because he always speaks in verse, which is really fun for the writer. And that issue, especially that arc, was dedicated to Jack Kirby, who created Etrigan.
Yeah.
The line that I wrote down from Etrigan was really cool was, what are men but chariots of wrath driven by demons? It's like, dude.
So good.
That's fantastic.
It's like that Steve Buscemi line from Spy Kids.
Yeah, kind of.
Everyone knows that line.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. But that line in a lot of ways is kind of what the whole book is about. Is like Swamp Thing is running from his demons. He's running from his past and who he is and understanding who he is. Yeah. And by the end of this, he kind of starts to come to terms with that and understand who he is and decide like, no, I've moved into not necessarily something that's better, but something that's different and that I can do what I can with that. And that's cool.
Yeah. That's why Etrigan makes such a good side character, is that he's very much the voice of the subtext.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
he's like prophesying and stuff like that.
Yeah. He's supposed to be kind of not explaining to you, the reader, what you're supposed to be getting out of this, but he is supposed to be highlighting it,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I loved, and you didn't read the annual, so you don't know.
I'm sorry. I missed the annuals when we were, I didn't think to go back to them.
Yeah. Because we were reading most of this digitally.
Yeah. Issue by issue.
It didn't organize the annuals in chronological order.
Yeah.
So I noticed that in the corner, not super big, but not super small. It said the story continues in Swamp Thing Annual 2. So I read that. Michael didn't notice that. So you missed one of the best issues in the entire run, in my opinion.
Shoot. I gotta go back for this then.
Where like Abby has died and he basically goes to heaven and is helped by the Phantom Stranger. Initially helped by Dead Man. Yeah. And then the Phantom Stranger to try to find her, and then ends up going to hell, which is where Arcane said that he had sent her soul, but he didn't want to believe that. Yeah. So he goes to hell. But before that, as he's walking through heaven, he meets Alec Holland.
Oh, so I have to go read this. Yeah. I'm so mad that I missed this now. So Holland I was content to just be a little confused by whatever happened. But, I assumed it was a crossover or something that happened between issues.
Nope. It's this great thing where you kind of put to rest everything that came before it and move into the American Gothic side of things and like the more Alan Moore larger story. Because before that, that's the return of Arcane, which is a really cool storyline. Yes. Yeah. But we finish that out and we move on, and now we're really getting into Alan Moore's stuff. Yep. So it kind of is the end of the previous stuff and the beginning of what's coming. And with that, there's the issue before that where he finds Holland's bones and buries him. Yeah. And his spirit actually goes to rest. It wasn't metaphor. Yeah. That was his ghost. And he did then go to heaven. Yeah. So he goes to heaven in this to try to find Abby and finds himself. And he thanks him for like, thank you for like burying me and all this different stuff. Yeah. Linda isn't so sure about the reincarnation, if she wants to do that or just stay here. And then he's like, Linda's here? Yeah. And it's this moment of like, he has to choose, like, does he want to go and see, like she's off in the distance. It's like, I don't know, like I'm good. Yeah. I'm going to move on. And it's so this really great moment of like, in that moment, he's choosing to let that past go and let Alec Holland go and move on as whatever he is now. Yeah. And he does go and find Abby, and Etrigan helps him go through hell and stuff like that. And it's just very good.
Let me say here.
Say right here.
I will. Right here. This is one I love, as you know, there's dozens of episodes of me saying how much I love the medium of comic books. But this is one of those things that I feel like there's so much homework to do if you want to get into the back issues. Of
DC Comics characters, kind of.
Yes, I feel like if you want to read a full arc, you have to be more careful than I was when I was reading this, and that's one thing that I just find to be a smidge frustrating about trying to go back to hit the classics. It's like you can't just read it issues 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to infinity.
It kind of depends. Yeah. I mean,
sometimes. This isn't all the time, but
this one, the main detour is really just the that Swamp Thing Annual number 2. Yeah. And there is like Crisis on Infinite Earths is happening at the same time as some of this, but it doesn't really come into play. Yeah. You can largely ignore it. And it still plays out the same. It still works. I'm sure it gives certain things more context, but you don't really need that. The same thing, like if you don't know who Etrigan is, I don't think that it would really make that big of a difference for you. Yeah. Not knowing who the Phantom Stranger is, not knowing who Spectre is, that having context there would make them a bit more interesting probably. Like you were saying that you were kind of like skimming a little bit when the Phantom Stranger was there because you were like, this guy probably isn't important. And then he came back in a big way at a certain point. So that's the kind of tough thing where the same way that like Grant Morrison has this great love for Silver Age characters and will bring back these very Silver Age ideas and concepts and stuff like that in his work. Alan Moore is doing a lot of that in this, of taking these classic characters and these old characters and bringing them into the new modern age. Yeah. And if you don't know their backstories, then it's a little bit more difficult, but I think he does a pretty good job of re-explaining things in a way that isn't just like context dump, exposition dump. Because even like, you could theoretically start by reading this run, not read any of the stuff that came before it. Yeah. And you'd be okay. Yeah. I did not read the first 20 issues of this. And I was a little confused initially about who Arcane was because Moore's run begins with Swamp Thing being like, oh no, Arcane is dead. Yep. Well, what do I do about that? And it's like, who is that guy? What is that? You just
have to assume,
exactly. But then he comes back. They do go back and do a flashback of the house exploding and the gangsters and stuff like that. So a lot of that stuff comes back.
Yeah.
But no, I think you're right. I think that might even be more of a problem in like modern comics some of the time.
I think sometimes, with character crossovers specifically, it is for sure. Yeah.
Because there's so many more crossovers these days than there used to be back then.
Oh, a ton.
And if you don't have all the tie-in issues, then it's really confusing. Or if you're just reading Amazing Spider-Man and then Civil War is happening.
Yeah.
And now you're jumping in between, like, to understand this story, you need to read Batman #1, and then Nightwing #3, and then Batman #2, and then Nightwing #7, and then Teen Titans #4, and then Justice League 2.5.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are we doing here? And if you don't read all of those things, then you're like, how did Batman get in on Mars? And he was just in the ocean a minute ago. And how did he get in the ocean, as a matter of fact? And why is the ocean green? Yeah. I'm making all that up, but still.
Well, and they won't explain it because I have trouble not thinking it's a cash grab where they just want you to go buy the other issues. You know? I mean, and back in the day, I don't think it was as much of that. But yeah, nowadays, I really do think it is in a lot of cases. Maybe not every single case, because sometimes it's just good, content. I hate the word content. It feels so cheap.
Compared to art.
Yes.
I think it always is to a certain degree, but there's a level when it becomes greedy.
Yes.
To bring back Taylor Swift into the conversation, there's already been like 7 different extremely limited versions of her new album. Yeah. And people are like, why are you doing this? Like, you have a new version with acoustics and it's only available on your website for 7 hours. Yeah. It's like, do you want your fans to have this?
Yeah.
Or do you just want to be on the top charts?
Totally.
Like, is this about the art or is this a business?
Our Swiftie viewership is dropping by the second.
I don't think it was very high. Our analytics are like 99% male.
Are you saying the Swiftie to comic book fan
to 35?
And I love every single last one of them. I'd kiss them.
Love you, Doom. Love you, Gamma. Love you.
Love you, that guy who called me bald last week.
Love you, Calvin.
Yeah. Calvin, we haven't met, but love you.
You can come and meet him on Halloween. Hey, when this comes out, I will be doing a event at Rainbow Comics next week on the 18th.
Get excited, all of our Lincolnites.
You can come and see my art and buy it.
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool. So that's been the Swamp Thing. That's been John Constantine. Did you know that, by the way? That's how you're supposed to say it.
No, don't tell me that.
I'm sorry to inform you.
Wait.
I'm not going to say it.
Where did you hear this?
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's how Alan Moore says it.
It's John Constantine and it's Falcone.
Okay. Let's bring this back for a second, actually. Oh, no. Because I did research.
No.
I did research.
There's news?
I wanted to see, is there any video of, because I was looking, who created Carmine Falcone? Who created Salvatore Moroni? It is Frank Miller. They were created in year
right?
1. Yes.
I didn't know that. That's good.
So they both showed up for the first time in Batman year 1. Or at least Falcone did. I can't remember if Moroni is in that one, but Falcone is at like the dinner party where they do, you've eaten well, you've eaten Gotham's wealth, her soul, all of that different stuff.
Yeah.
Your feast is about to be over or whatever it is. None of you are safe. It's really good.
Oh, it's so good. Great in audio too.
Dude, really well done in audio.
Yep.
There wasn't, from what I could see, there wasn't any like interview or video where I could find him saying it, but all indications that I could find were that he pronounces the way I do, because it's an Italian name, and the way that you would pronounce it as an Italian name would be Falcone. It would be a hard E at the end. I don't know what to tell you. David Mazzucchelli.
Yeah.
Italian name.
Very Italian.
A lot of people say Mazzucchelli. Unfortunately, I did find video of him explaining his own name.
Yeah, good.
Okay. He was doing a lecture talking about storytelling and stuff.
Yeah.
And he went through and briefly said his name is Mazzucchelli.
Yeah. Spelled different though.
Pizza. Mazzucchelli. It's the same thing. The double Z's, the double C's. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, if he is that aware of the Italian way to pronounce his own name.
But Falcone is just a single N before the E.
Yeah.
It's not like
That's not how that
It's
works.
not like minestrone.
Oh
which
my
has
gosh.
2 N's.
Minestrone? Minestrone soup?
You got it.
So that's what I have to say about that.
Marshall,
is that from all of my research, Mark Miller? Nope. Frank Miller does in fact pronounce it as Carmine Falcone.
I'm still going to give you crap about it. Funny thing is, I don't even disagree with you. I just like riling you up.
Yeah. And
it's the best.
I believe that I have actually seen video of him saying Constantine, though. Yeah. And I've seen, if you think about how a British man would say Constantine, he would probably be Constantine.
Think so?
Yeah.
We should do a Constantine episode.
I would love to talk about Hellblazer after reading this.
Especially, I've been reading the Dresden Files novels. Have you heard of these?
Oh, yeah.
I've been reading that.
Really?
It is so much fun.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be.
Sure.
But I think I saw like a TikTok where somebody that I think has pretty good taste in media was like kind of praising it. Not you.
Okay.
You don't make TikToks, you fool.
I post this on TikTok sometimes.
Hey, yo.
What's up, TikTok?
It's garbage. He was praising the Dresden Files though. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'll give this a try. And it's so much fun. And it is exactly John Constantine. There are, apart from being like just American, like in Chicago, that is kind of the main difference between Harry Dresden and John Constantine. Everything else is very, very similar. So
I've been watching the Rockford Files.
I don't know about
James
this one.
Garner. No, that's not true. I haven't been watching that.
Well, watch him.
Old TV show.
Yeah.
So that's been the Swamp Thing. That's been Alan Moore and his cool stuff and the things that he did. It's really awesome. If you like this book, I would really suggest Sandman. I personally don't enjoy Sandman that much. I think it's just whatever.
Really?
I don't know.
We'll do a Sandman episode later on, and Marshall can hate on it.
Yeah, we'll see.
We love a Marshall hater episode.
We'll have to really get into the Neil Gaiman stuff. You know what? The only two books that I have to suggest are made by creators who have been somewhat canceled. So check out Sandman if you like the vibes of this. Another book that you can check out is Immortal Hulk, written by Al Ewing and drawn by Joseph Bennett. Joseph Bennett, however, unfortunately, is not super well loved in the industry now because they discovered that he was maybe putting some like Nazi symbology in the background in Immortal Hulk, and it was not like it was story related or anything. It was his decision.
Can't do that.
Kind of weird anti-Semitic stuff in there. His art's really good. That part of his art, not great.
Yeah.
But there's even the visuals of that book really reminds me of the way that Bissette does that like impressionistic kind of thing that I was talking about, the way that he like gives things shape. It has a lot of those like larger forces. Like in the Swamp Thing, he talks about the green a lot as this larger force, this larger thing. Yeah. It's the same thing in Hulk. There's the green doors. And there's like, he goes to hell at one point in that book. It's very Lovecraft. Yeah. There's the different altars and stuff. It's extremely deep in the psychology of the Hulk and everything. Huge. It's really good. It's finished at this point. You can buy an omnibus of it. And Al Ewing is now writing The Immortal Thor, which I have right here, which is supposed to be really good as well. That one I can wholeheartedly.
The cunning warrior attacks neither body nor mind.
Tell me how!
The heart, Osborn. First, we attack his heart.
Say is really good, except for the Nazi stuff that has been scrubbed. Thanks for being here. If you want to suggest the show to a friend, that'd be really good. We would appreciate that. You subscribe and come back and see us next time. If this is the only time we ever are graced by your presence, thanks for being here. I hope you have a really good rest of your life. But, come back, check it out. Next week, we're talking about this book. Wow. It's Batman the Cult. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. There's a little Swamp Thing connection there. The artist, Bernie Wrightson, is the artist who co-created Swamp Thing.
Love it.
What?
We love that.
So that's really cool.
Yes, we're excited for that. We post new episodes every Wednesday. So come back on Wednesdays and hang out with us. We love being around you.
Yep. I just set up my office a little more recently, so I'm hoping to start doing art streams again on Fridays. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition.
Can't wait.
I do art. Speaking of that, I do art. You can check it out on my website. Here's 3 examples. Boom, boom, boom. That's pretty cool. You can buy those on my imprint. You can also message me on the Instagrams or whatever and ask me if I can do a commission for you, and I'll say, give me money. But nicely. I'll say it nicely. I'm also going to be at Rainbow Comics. I think that, when this comes out, this next Saturday, the 18th, I will be at Rainbow Comics all day selling my stuff for their Halloween event. There's probably sales going on. I don't know. I should know that. Maybe be. Yep. So that's pretty good. Michael also does stuff. Here's Michael's book. It's called Marauders. It's pretty good. It's got poetry in it. None of it is about swamp things. Kind of disappointing, to be fair.
That's true. There are none about Swamp Things.
Michael's working on a second book called Swamp Things, and it's only poems about the swamp and things that would be in it or related to it.
Yes.
I will buy that one.
I can't wait for you to buy that and read it.
I can't wait to buy it and read it.
You'll get to a reading
unrelated. Can you lend me $15.99?
Yeah, I'll slide you that. Absolutely.
Sweet.
That'll cover printing and my what do you call it? Pay.
Finder's fee.
My finder's fee for this book for finding the poetry in my brain. Yeah.
Hey. There's schools of thought that kind of see art that way, and which is kind of interesting. Okay, so
we're professional podcasters. We're really good at this, I promise.
Thanks everybody for being here.
Yes,
this is the show.
Keep reading comics. We love you.
Good luck.